Hello channel viewers, I am DS Psychologist and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. So in one of my previous episodes, I mentioned that the 4 rarest MBTI types are all NI users. So NI is this mysterious skill or ability to tap into the collective consciousness. NI users are also able to draw parallels between unrelated objects and events very quickly. So it is very common for NI users to engage in analogies. So in this episode, we're going to draw an analogy between cognitive functions and poker cards. So if cognitive functions are poker cards, then what would each cognitive function be?
Your absolute, unquestioning loyalty.
So I am going to select for each of the 8 cognitive functions one poker card that best represents this cognitive function. Why don't you give it a try as well? So I'm going to do this for each cognitive function in alphabetical order, and I'm going to give the viewers 5 seconds to think also which poker card do you think best represents this cognitive function, and see if we have a match.
Yep.
And that's down again at 21.
21 in the lower left-hand corner.
If Fi were a cognitive function, what would it be? And this is my choice. If Fi is a cognitive function, then it should be the Ace of Hearts. So when thinking about the F function, the filling function, definitely I have to think of the hearts suit. So I have been thinking about the Fi, and I think that the Ace of Hearts is most suitable to describe the Fi. That's because there's only one heart. It's all about my personal feelings. Stereotype pride. Now because this is an ace, sometimes it can be a very small card. It only represents 1 point in some card games like the Baccarat. However, in other games such as poker, the Ace of Hearts can be one of the biggest cards. So similarly, when you think of Fi, sometimes Fi can be really mediocre because you are just focused on your own personal feelings. So it can be really very small. However, Fi users can also have very humanistic values. So this is where Fi can be really big. So that's why I assign the Ace of Hearts to Fi. What about you? Now moving on to the next cognitive function, Fe. If Fe were a poker card, what would it be? So I have chosen this card to be representative of Fe, and it is 10 of Hearts. So Fe is totally about sharing the love, preserving harmony, and sharing all the joy. So I think the best card to represent this is definitely the 10 of Hearts.
Joy to the world.
So moving alphabetically down, we have Ni. If Ni is a poker card, what would it be? I have chosen this card to be my Ni. What is yours? Mine is Joker. Essentially, Ni is imagination, and with this imagination, you can create all sorts of possibilities. So definitely, for me, it is the Joker. What about you? What did you choose to be the Ni card? So moving on, we have Ne. If Ne were a poker card, what would it be? Okay, this is my assigned card for Ne. I think this is going to be a little bit tricky because I had been thinking about Ne quite a lot, and I was trying to find out a card that really represents Ne. In the end, I chose this. 7 of Hearts. Da da da. I would say that in choosing this card, I had made some unfair comparisons. What's the unfair comparison? Here you see, this is a tarot card. Is the 7 of Cups. As you can see in this card, there is a man looking at 7 different cups hanging around in the air or amongst the clouds. So this person is actually looking at all the different possibilities and he wants them all. So this definitely describes NE. They are always entertaining new ideas and they cannot filter away. They want to keep them all. Just like this man in the tarot card. And in tarot, the 7 of cups directly translates to the 7 of hearts. Moving on, we have SE. If SE were a poker card, what would it be? This is the card that I've chose, and it is the 5 of diamonds. Ta-da! So why did I choose the 5 of diamonds? Sometimes it's very hard to crack your brain to assign a card to a cognitive function, because a cognitive function can actually represent so many different things. So SE can be very impulsive. SE is wanting to act fast, wanting to experience the world very fast. It's about direct sensory enjoyment. So I've chosen 5 diamond because if you have ever played Yahoo games, Yahoo Mahjong, sometimes people are very slow. So they will type 5D, 5D to mean faster, faster. Actually, it's a Cantonese translation, 5D, 5D. So for me, 5 diamonds is fast. But diamond is also appropriate because diamond represents money. People who are high in SE might be very inclined to spend money for their own sensory enjoyment. So it's like forcing it, right? Okay, let's move on to SI. If SI were a poker card, what would it be? I've chosen this card to be my SI. And ta-da! It is the Queen of Diamonds. For me, the diamond suit is the richest suit of all in that of poker cards. And the family is rich because they do things very systematically and steadily. So for me, the diamond suit is very stable and steady. So this is the imagination, okay? Using NI. So this may be a stereotype, but SI for me is rather feminine. Because females tend to be more careful. Okay, this is a stereotype. So I chose the Queen of Diamonds. So another reason why I chose the Queen of Diamonds is in the real world, for anyone to be really, really rich, being very careful, being very prudent may not be the solution. So the really, really rich people may be entrepreneurs, businessmen, people who are willing to take risks. So the King of Diamonds should not be an SI person. So I think the Queen of Diamonds is a good choice. What is yours? Is it the same or different? Okay, moving on. If TE were a poker card, what would it be? So I have assigned this card to be most representative of TE, and it is the King of Spades. So I see the King of Spades as a tinker. He's holding a sword. Actually, all the kings hold a sword. But you see the spade itself looks like a sword, a pointed sword, right? Yeah, forcing it again. But this King of Spades is very logical. So I've chosen a male, a king in this case, because the king makes all the decisions in his kingdom. So he has to be very objective and logical. So for me, the swords is very important because the swords represents that they are able to cut off all emotions. Finally, we come to TI. If TI were a poker card, what would it be? This is my choice, and it is ta-da, 2 of Spades. So why did I choose the 2 of Spades? First, I believe that TI is actually usually very mediocre and small. TI is usually very narrow in its way, it's very tunnel vision for the TE user. So if I am interpreting TI from the TE point of view, I tend to think that TI is rather useless. So as a poker card, TI is the 2 of Spades because the 2 of Spades is one of the smallest cards. However, in some games, this card is actually a very big card. So as a TE user, I do see the value of TI sometimes, and only sometimes. So not to say TI is totally useless, if not it would have been eliminated altogether. by evolution, right? So TI, this tunnel vision logic, can sometimes create wonders. So this is why I assigned the two of spades to TI, because the two of spades is usually a small card, but in very rare times, in very rare games, the two of spades, this deuce, can be a wild card and can be a very powerful card. So I hope TI users use your two of spades very well. Play the correct game. Okay viewers, how many cards did we get a match on? Comment below. I hope you found this episode really interesting as well, because as an ENTJ, I really entertain a lot of crazy ideas at times in my head. And finally, through YouTube, I get to put them out into reality. So in the future, I hope to bring you more such episodes and more such fun stuff. If you have not subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more ENTJ and MBTI. Alright, I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you in my next episode. Goodbye!